returning to OPS is probably going to be extremely impossible. It's not for A state or B state. Every state will be burdened much more than what they can take, even within a matter of 5 to 10 years, and after which it will balloon.
State government has announced a 3-member committee of 3 retired IS officers to study the old pension scheme. That's the move coming in from the Maharashtra government after we saw 17 lakh government employees protest for the restoration of the old pension scheme.
Hello there! Today, let's analyze a fascinating topic that has helped shape the Indian economy and provided financial security to millions of citizens. It's all about Atal Bihari Vajpayee's new pension scheme, which has been hailed as a game-changer in the Indian pension sector. So, how exactly did Atal Bihari Vajpayee's new pension scheme save the Indian economy? Well, that's what we'll explore together in this discussion. Hello everyone, welcome back to Edge Capitalism. In Edge Capitalism, we analyze how power and value is created in the world. If you like our content, share and subscribe to our channel. Are you ready? Let's get started. In 2003, the Government of India proposed the introduction of a new pension scheme for employees of the central government, excluding armed forces personnel. The proposal was part of the government's efforts to reform the pension system in the country and to move towards a defined contribution scheme. The proposed new pension scheme aimed to replace the existing defined benefit pension scheme, which was considered unsustainable due to the increasing cost of pension liabilities for the government. Under the defined benefit pension scheme, the government guaranteed a fixed amount of pension to its employees based on their length of service and the last payment is drawn. The proposed new pension scheme was a defined contribution scheme in which the government would contribute a fixed percentage of the employee's salary towards the pension fund, and the employee would also make a matching contribution. The accumulated amount in the pension fund would be invested in various financial instruments such as equities, bonds, and government securities. The pension amount would depend on the performance of the pension fund and the returns generated on the investments made. To implement the new pension scheme, the government established the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, PFRDA, in 2004. The PFRDA was responsible for regulating and promoting the new pension scheme in the country. The PFRDA also set up the infrastructure for managing the pension funds and appointed pension fund managers and other service providers for the scheme. In 2004, the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, PFRDA, was established as a regulatory body for the pension sector in India. The PFRDA was established under the PFRDA Act of 2013 and was responsible for regulating and promoting the new pension scheme in the country. The PFRDA was responsible for various functions, including the registration of pension fund managers, custodians, and other service providers. The PFRDA was also responsible for approving the investment norms and asset allocation for the pension funds. The PFRDA played a crucial role in ensuring the transparency and accountability of the pension funds and in promoting the new pension scheme in the country. In 2008, the new pension scheme was launched for all new central government employees joining the service on or after January 1, 2004. The scheme was voluntary for employees who joined the service before this date. The new pension scheme, also known as the National Pension System, NPS, was a defined contribution scheme in which the employee and the government made a fixed contribution towards the pension fund. The accumulated amount in the pension fund was invested in various financial instruments such as equities, bonds, and government securities. The pension amount would depend on the performance of the pension fund and the returns generated on the investment made. In 2009, the new pension scheme was expanded to all citizens of India aged between 18 and 55 years. The scheme was also made mandatory for all new recruits to the central government service this year. The mandatory nature of the new pension scheme for all new recruits to the central government service from 2009 was aimed at ensuring a more sustainable and market-linked pension system for government employees. The mandatory nature of the scheme also ensured that all new recruits to the central government service would be covered under the new pension system. To implement the expansion of the new pension scheme, the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, PFRDA, undertook various initiatives. The PFRDA launched a massive awareness campaign to educate the citizens about the benefits of the new pension scheme. The PFRDA also collaborated with various banks and other financial institutions to increase the reach of the scheme. The expansion of the new pension scheme was also accompanied by the introduction of various initiatives, such as the Swavalamban Yojana and Atal Pension Yojana, to promote the scheme among the unorganized sector workers and small traders. Under the Swavalamban Yojana, the government contributed 1,000 rupees per year to the new pension scheme accounts of subscribers who made a minimum contribution of 1,000 rupees per year. Under the Atal Pension Yojana, the subscribers were guaranteed a fixed minimum pension amount upon attaining the age of 60 years. In 2010, the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority released investment guidelines for the new pension scheme. The investment guidelines laid down the asset allocation for various categories of investments and the investment norms to be followed by the pension fund managers. The investment guidelines prescribed the asset allocation for various categories of investments as follows. Equity. The investment in equity was limited to a maximum of 50% of the corpus of the pension fund. The investment in equity was also subject to various investment norms such as diversification, liquidity, and risk management. Corporate bonds. The investment in corporate bonds was limited to a maximum of 40% of the corpus of the pension fund. The investment in corporate bonds was also subject to various investment norms such as credit rating, maturity, and liquidity. Government securities. The investment in government securities was limited to a maximum 55% of the corpus of the pension fund. The investment in government securities was also subject to various investment norms such as credit rating, maturity, and liquidity. Alternative assets. The investment in alternative assets such as real estate, infrastructure, and private equity was limited to a maximum of 5% of the corpus of the pension fund. In 2011, the Government of India launched the Swavalamban Yojana, a co-contribution scheme for unorganized sector workers. The Swavalamban Yojana aimed to promote the new pension scheme among the unorganized sector workers who were not covered under any pension scheme. Under the Swavalamban Yojana, the government contributed 1,000 rupees per year to the new pension scheme accounts of subscribers who made a minimum contribution of 1,000 rupees per year. The scheme was available to unorganized sector workers who were not covered under any pension scheme and whose income was less than 15,000 rupees per month. To implement the Swavalamban Yojana, the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority collaborated with various banks and other financial institutions. The PFRDA launched a massive awareness campaign to educate the unorganized sector workers about the benefits of the new pension scheme and the Swavalamban Yojana. The Swavalamban Yojana was also accompanied by various initiatives such as the Atal Pension Yojana, which aimed to provide a fixed minimum pension amount to the subscribers upon attaining the age of 60 years. In 2015, the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority increased the equity exposure limit for the new pension scheme from 50% to 75%. This move was aimed at providing better returns to the subscribers and aligning the new pension scheme with the changing market conditions. It was based on the recommendations of the Bajpai Committee, which was set up by the PFRDA to review the investment guidelines for the new pension scheme. The Bajpai Committee recommended the increase in the equity exposure limit to align the new pension scheme with the changing market conditions and to provide better returns to the subscribers. This was also supported by the positive economic indicators in the country. The Indian stock markets had been performing well in the years leading up to 2015, and the increase in the equity exposure limit was seen as a positive move to capitalize on the market conditions and provide better returns to the subscribers. In 2019, the Government of India established the National Pension System Trust, NPST, to manage the assets under the National Pension System, NPS. The establishment of the NPST was aimed at ensuring the safety and security of the pension funds and increasing the efficiency of the NPS. The NPST was established as a separate legal entity under the Indian Trusts Act of 1882. The NPST was responsible for managing the assets of the NPS and ensuring compliance with the investment guidelines and other regulatory norms. What are the main strategic consequences for the future? Let's see. The first category of benefits is demographic changes, such as demographic changes can have a significant impact on the sustainability of pension systems, including the own pension scheme in India. As life expectancy increases, the cost of providing pensions also rises, which can put a significant burden on the government's finances. According to the World Bank, life expectancy in India has increased from 56 years in 1990 to 70 years in 2019. This trend is expected to continue, with the United Nations projecting that the average life expectancy in India will reach 74 years by 2030. This increase in life expectancy means that individuals will be eligible for pension benefits for longer periods, resulting in higher costs for the government. Moreover, India is also experiencing a demographic shift with a decreasing workforce and an increasing number of retirees. According to the Ministry of Statistics and Programs Implementation, the proportion of the population aged 60 years and above is projected to increase from 8.6% in 2011 to 19.7% by 2050. At the same time, the working age population is expected to decline. This demographic shift means that fewer workers will have to support a larger number of retirees, putting additional pressure on the government's finances. The demographic changes are also reflected in the rising pension expenditure of the government. According to the Ministry of Finance, the pension expenditure of the central government has increased from 35,453 crore rupees in 2007 to 2008 to 172,982 crore rupees in 2021 to 22, which is a five-fold increase in just 14 years. The expenditure on pensions is expected to continue to rise as the number of retirees increases. Other benefits are fiscal burden. The old pension scheme can also lead to a significant fiscal burden on the government, which can impact the country's economic growth and development. One of the major concerns with the old pension scheme is its unfunded nature, which means that the government has to bear the full cost of providing pension benefits without any accumulated funds. This puts a significant strain on the government's finances, and the cost of providing pensions can become unsustainable in the long run. According to the Economic Survey 2021, pension expenditure in India has been steadily increasing over the years, and it is projected to continue to rise in the future. The report states that the pension expenditure of the central government increased from 0.5% of GDP in 2010 to 2011 to 1.6% of GDP in 2019 to 20. This increase in pension expenditure has led to a decline in resources available for other critical areas such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare, which can ultimately affect the country's economic growth and development. Furthermore, the unfunded nature of the old pension scheme can also lead to intergenerational equity issues. The current workers have to bear the burden of paying for the pensions of retired workers, which can lead to resentment among the younger generation who feel that they are unfairly burdened with the cost of supporting the elderly. Other benefits are lack of portability. The lack of portability of the old pension scheme can limit career opportunities for workers, discourage job mobility, and ultimately lead to a less dynamic and productive workforce. Under the old pension scheme, employees cannot transfer their pension benefits when they change jobs, which means that they lose their accumulated pension benefits if they switch employers. This can be a significant disincentive for workers who may hesitate to change jobs, limiting their career growth and opportunities. This in turn can lead to a less dynamic and productive workforce. Moreover, the lack of portability can also lead to administrative inefficiencies and can put an additional burden on employers. Employers have to manage multiple pension accounts for their employees, leading to higher administrative costs and increased complexity. In contrast, the new pension system introduced in India, the National Pension System, is a defined contribution system that is portable across jobs and locations. This means that employees can carry forward their accumulated pension benefits when they change jobs, providing them with greater flexibility and career mobility. According to the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, the number of subscribers to the NPS has been steadily increasing over the years, with over 4.43 crore subscribers as of January 2022. This growth is a testament to the benefits of a portable and sustainable pension system. Finally, the last benefits are investment risk. The old pension scheme, which is predominantly funded by the government, is exposed to investment risks, which can affect the sustainability of the scheme. Under the old pension scheme, the government is responsible for providing pension benefits, and it has to make investments to generate the required returns. However, the investments made by the pension fund may not always generate the expected returns, which can lead to a shortfall in the pension fund. In such cases, the government may have to step in to cover the shortfall, leading to a further strain on the economy. Moreover, the government's investment decisions may not always be optimal, leading to suboptimal returns. The lack of diversification in the government's investments can also expose the pension fund to concentration risks, which can be detrimental to the fund's performance. In contrast, under the new pension system introduced in India, the National Pension System, the investment risk is borne by individual subscribers, who have the flexibility to choose their investment options. The NPS offers a range of investment options, including equity, corporate bonds, and government securities, providing subscribers with greater diversification and risk management options. According to the Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, the investment returns of the NPS have been consistently higher than those of the old pension scheme. As of December 2021, the average returns of the NPS Tier 1 scheme were 12.37% over the last 10 years, compared to the guaranteed returns of 8% provided by the old pension scheme. That is it for today. I hope you liked this video. For more updates on this topic, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Remember, capitalism is about creating value, not money. See you.